Does it mean that this saw is not a good saw? I believe the Echo CS620P is the best firewood saw you can buy today for the money. So why haven't I been running it? Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe, and if you have been following this channel for a long time, you may have found me because of how I ran and loved an Echo CS620P for so long. Now, the crazy thing is that original saw that I started off with, I don't even own anymore. If you want to see more of that saw, go to Dustin at Faithful Farm Adventures because he is now using it as his primary firewood saw. That saw was ported and I loved it. In fact, in many ways, I liked it more than this one here. Now, the only reason why I still have this one versus the other one is I didn't really like the PW handle on it, and this is a newer saw. You might be asking why I haven't been running that, and I've seen many comments like saying, hey, when's the 620P gonna show back up? It's been sitting on the shelf here for a long time. I needed to make it run a little bit better. You see, I mounted the cylinder after it was ported and it ran good, but it didn't run necessarily as good as my last one. And that's because I hadn't completed all the modifications necessary to make this saw work. And when I say all of the modifications, specifically, the carburetor still had the limited high jet in it. I went ahead and made that right, I think, and so now we're gonna go outside and we're gonna go see if we can get this into some wood, and I'm gonna see if I can tune it. And there's also no guarantee that this is gonna be successful because I replaced the jet myself and it's the first time I'd ever done it, and I may have scratched up the bore of the inside of the carb on the high jet. So if it's funky, that could be my fault. Or I guess it is probably my fault. We're about to turn 29,000 subs, guys. And while we're walking over here, I took a really nice load of wood in today. What do you guys think? Was that worth bringing home? I'm really hoping a lot of that bark just falls right off. Let's see how she starts up here. Like I said earlier, this could be a complete failure, but we're gonna see if I can make this run right. It's singing up there pretty high, so I wanna fatten up that high jet to start, and then we'll start leaning it out from there. I'm gonna go a quarter turn out to fatten it up a little bit. Let's see how she cuts. I wanted to warm her up. These 620s take a while. Just in that single cut, it's, boy, that's nasty wood. That's like 3 crotches right there. One there, one there, one there. This is not showing off the saw's ability, I can tell you that. It's also not pulling great chips either, but that's because of the wood. It already sounds kind of lean to me, to be honest with you. So we're gonna go ahead and back that high jet off just a little bit more. Another quarter turn. So we're a total of a half turn out from where I was. These saws are historically difficult to tune for me because of how they sound. Once we get the saw tuned up, it does have a job to do. So this isn't going to be just me cutting rounds off this wood here. We'll put in a little bit of hickory here, but I'm really happy with how this is running right now. Well, dang, I'm pretty happy with that. That actually proved to be, I think, pretty easy to tune. Now, I could probably squeak a little bit more out of there, but guys, again, we're not racing. I'm more interested in firewood and just a good saw. Now, one of the things I want to do is, like I said, I want to work this saw. It's not just going to be cookie cuts. I guess this is going to be kind of cookie cuts. I want to square some of these ends up here, just kind of see the condition of this wood. I brought it all home a little bit ago. Let's see how it goes. It's all going to be oak, so none of it's going to be awesome to cut. Did I do the right thing by bringing this stuff home, guys? There's a little bit of a punky ring right here. Some of this stuff might be kind of junk, but you know, it's not exactly my favorite scenario, but hopefully when I split this, a lot of the bark will just fall right off. There's some dirt in these logs, I'll tell you that. Let's take another one off of this. I hope this whole log isn't trash. Oh, got it turned on. This log is soft. I'm probably going to end up putting that in the burn pile. But so far, most of the stuff's been good. So what do you guys think? Was that a waste of time? That log right there might be too bad. Maybe those right there and right there. But some of these are actually really good. You having fun?
Yeah.
Good. You did a really good wheelie?
Yeah.
This kid's sort of taking my bike.
It's the best bike to ride.
It is a nice bike, isn't it?
It's the best thing.
But it's pretty good. Check out all this, guys. At this point, it's undecided what that was. I'm a little concerned about whether or not I wasted my time getting that or not. Hey, don't be trying to photobomb my video, okay, bud?
Okay.
So far, this saw is running pretty good. What do you guys think? I think there's going to be some good logs in here, but I'm definitely going to have some more to put in the burn pile. This one's got mud really bad on the end. Let me go check out the other end and see if I can tell if this one's worth even touching. I think that log's actually a good one. I'm gonna grab the tractor and stack these things up in an orderly place over there. I'm trying to keep things clean. I'm really excited. I love having wood in a log pile to buck. It's my favorite type of cutting. I wanted to blow that off, but I'm kind of racing daylight here, so we're not gonna worry about that. Plus those lift up the logs enough, I think I can blow underneath them. My tractor actually could not curl that. There we go. It's amazing what happens when you grip it better. I do need to kind of curl this down so I can drop the logs down, right? Because otherwise it's gonna try to roll off the front. So to set them down, I've got to do this. I had an accident. Was this one the trash wood anyway? Nope. Maybe. Really amazing how fast oak can deteriorate out here in Oklahoma, especially this species of stuff. I think it's time for some trimming anyway. Oh dang, what the heck? This is crooked. No more messing around. I'm just gonna grab one log at a time so I can easily stack them. That end over there is the dirty end. I want to cut that off. Not sure this one's going to be worth hanging on to, but we're going to hang on to it as of right now anyway. This one's leaving. I'm going to go get rid of it. When the dirt's on the opposite side of the cut, leaving as the chips come out, it really does help your chain out. This log may be trash too. We'll cut this end off and see. If you want a visual representation of about what a CK2620 will do with a grapple on it, this is actually a good solid white oak here. I'm gonna trim up the butt on this side, and then I wanna show you kind of like how this curls and all that, just so you know. We'll leave it at idle first. I'll adjust the throttle up just so you can see the difference. So we're all the way at idle, and so I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna tilt it forward so we can tilt it back up, okay? I'm going slow so that way it doesn't drop. I'm gonna tilt it all the way forward so you have an idea. Okay, and this is at idle, remember that. And so let's curl it now. Actually, it's doing really good, and that's a reasonably sized log, okay? Now, let's go ahead and do it on just the tips of the fingers, or on the tips of the claw here, because I want to show you how much it makes a difference when the load is not in the grapple all the way. So let's just imagine we're gripping right there, okay? Oh, it's doing it really good. Okay? It's doing it great. This is a great, whoa, that was a little too fast, guys. Anyway, this is such a great machine here. You gotta be really light on the touch. All right, let's go put this back on the stack there. Try to put a couple of these cookies on here to keep it from rolling off this side. See if that works. We'll try to set the log up there. Nope, not good. I gotta get that cut up. Let's see if this log is any good. I'm very happy with how this saw is running. I'm happy that I was able to tune it, and I'm also happy that I was able to clean it up. Yes, I could lean it out a little bit, and I may do that over time, but the question begs is, where does this fall in my lineup of saws? I've got a lot of saws that I would prefer picking up before I pick this up, and that's even in its ported state. This machine right here, you know, it's not the lightest. You know, guys like Russ Willie have put a lot of fuel through this, guys. a lot of fuel through a stock 620, and they remain to be the best value. This or the 590 if you need to save a little bit more money, with a 20, 24 inch or even a 27 inch bar if you want to stand up and buck. In a pile like this, guys, I like a long bar. I just do. That's something that I've been kind of rediscovering, if you will, because I've been running these 50cc saws. These saws are capable, very, very capable. And they have been, they're great, but 20 inch is where they top out. And, in a pile like this, 20 inch would be fine, but I would rather not be bending over. And I am not one of those adamant long bar guys. So if you're new here, that's not me. I'm not like only long bars. There's a guy on my comment section that says 36 on everything. Either that guy's like 7.5 feet tall, or maybe he's just being silly. But for me, optimal bar length, minimum is 24. Really 28 is where I need to be for my height, 5'7"-ish. 28 inch bar really does quite well. This saw here, I'm going to be making use of it, but again, like I said, I'm not going to be probably picking this up first. I've got so many excellent saws that I want to get some time on this, but like I'm just thinking like my 7310, I could pull that out, let it warm up, do a cut or two, even like a half cut maybe, and that saw is going to be crisp and just running great. Kind of like, well, if you've picked up a 372 X Torque or something, it's just really nice running. This thing will sit and burble and burble. In fact, let me just go ahead and cut a couple cookies, guys, because guys, this is cooled down. Yeah, I mean, it's not all the way cold. We're probably around 42 degrees, but let's just see. I just want you to see what I'm talking about. I want you guys to pay attention how long this saw takes to start running clean, okay? I'm gonna choke this as if it's cold. You guys hear that stumbling? Okay, that stumbling is going to go away as it gets hotter. I know that piece of wood doesn't really look very good, but it's because it's really bad oak, guys. Let me just show you what it looks like in some reasonably soft wood. And this chain's probably getting a little dull. It's running good, guys. What can I say? It's running good. A pretty big YouTuber once said something, you know, gives them the fizz or not. And I kind of wish I would have never have heard that statement, because it's absolutely true. This saw here, now that it's hot, it's running great. The anti-vibe just isn't there compared to the 7310, the 500i, the 562. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, of course not. This saw is like half the money. It's actually like a third of the money to some of those things, at least half. Well, gosh dang, prices keep coming up. And by the way, sawsuppliers.com, use the discount code OAKIE10, OAKIE 10. You know, you can help reduce the effects of inflation, because I swear, you know, I mean, these things used to be a bargain, you know, $650-ish. I think they're up a little higher now. So, you know, when you use that discount code, you can get them back down. These saws stock are great. Absolutely. If you're looking for a workhorse, especially if you're coming from like an older like Farm Boss, or man, if you're running like an old Home Light or something like Mold McCullough, small little Poulan, you can't go wrong with one of these saws. Now, keep in mind, this is modified. I'm confident that this saw is a best value, even when it is stock. This and the 590 are absolutely workhorses. You can get a ton of work done. Does this compete with a 562? Russ Willie would say absolutely. He doesn't like a 562. He recently got one, but they file their chains really hungry from what I understand, and the 562 is just not for them. And so that's the cool thing, guys, is the market it really fills a void for every single user. But for me, this chain is very hungry, by the way. It's very hungry. The saw is cutting great, but in terms of like the feel of it, it's just not the first saw I want to pick up. That's just all it's to it. Does it mean that this saw is not a good saw? Absolutely not. It's a fantastic machine. I'm super happy with the modifications that have been made to this saw. It would be hard for me to go back to one stock. It just really would. One of the coolest things about this saw, though, for me, is the fact that I had a hand in making it work better, because Dave went ahead and got the top end done, and then I was able to go ahead and mount it up, and I did that before I even ever started this saw. So I voided the warranty as soon as I could, which is pretty astonishing, actually. But what's neat is we were able to go ahead and take care of the top end and the muffler myself, and then I also now replaced that high jet. This thing is now tunable. It's not trying to dump fuel like crazy. What a great running saw. It just takes a while to warm up, guys. I've talked about that over the years. The 620 just takes a while to warm up. That's why you won't see me testing them a whole bunch, because it's just, you have to cut so much before you do. I mean, look at all these cookies. Just towards the end there, it started running great. And so if you're standing in a log pile like this, the simple fact is it's going to do great. Man, speaking of log piles, I'm starting to build up some wood, which is awesome. And then we've also got all that stuff right there. And those are some pretty good sized rounds. If you haven't checked out that video, make sure you do so. That was all 500i, 7310, and 550 XP wood. The 500i and the 7310 were running 32-inch bars. So what do you guys think? Does that answer the question as to why you haven't seen the 620p on the channel for a very long time? Now, with a tunable carburetor, this thing I believe is going to be very good going forward, and I do want to make a point of getting this on the channel running more, especially when I have a lot of wood to cut. The only problem is do you see this wall? I love that. I love that. I love that. This I haven't even cut with, and I'm sure I'm going to love that. I haven't ran this in a long time, and I love that. This I've been cutting a lot with. That I recently cut a lot with, and I love that. I haven't cut enough with that, and I love that. And I love that. So I just have a predicament. The only reason why we have that predicament is because you guys have supported the channel, and I can go ahead and run all of this equipment on camera for you. I've been working to get as much wood as I possibly can. In fact, I could probably quadruple or maybe even multiply that by 10 with all the wood I can get. The problem is the timing, right? So things are changing, things are developing. I really hope that you will hang in there with this channel because we are growing, I think, aggressively. In fact, check this out. When we left, we had less than 29,000. We got a few more, and in another video I mentioned some things that are changing on this channel. My short form videos, I believe, are going to be completely eliminated. And what I mean by that, no more going forward or reduced significantly. And so more on that later, but I'm just kind of testing something out. The Okie Woodsman channel, the really strong part of it is the long form video, and all that short form fits in really nicely on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. A couple of things that are coming up here as well is I have added a CBN wheel to this, but actually this is the 1/8 inch. Wes Mitchell really likes the 1/8 inch CBN wheels, and he uses those on 3/8 chain and down. In fact, I think he pretty much only uses 3/8. But I have a 3/16 one coming as well. So this 1/8 inch is likely to go on this machine, and the 3/16 will end up on this one. I'm dialing it in. This is a Stihl RS right here. This was filed, guys, with a 7/32 file at one point, so this is kind of funky, but I will tell you what, that thing being old still cuts really good. And a lot of people have mentioned that on my 50cc, the 325 saws, that the Stihl RS is very good, and so I will be testing that stuff out as well on this machine. And that I still have a brand new expensive loop. Here it is right here. In fact, that's how much I paid for it, $31.95. I just haven't wanted to just go put it in dirty wood because I want to enjoy that chain for a little bit. And I think this CBN wheel, from what I have ground on it with, I'm actually keeping the teeth really nice and cool, getting great results. And so as I get everything worked out and I feel comfortable that I know what I'm doing, I will be sharing on that later as well. And I think I'm actually warming up to this 620 as well. So stay tuned for that. Let's take a look and see what this air cleaner looks like while we're at it. I really like these A2D setups, guys. Really nice clean intakes. Let's tap this out. Go ahead and drop that back in here.